Hello.
Yes, yes.
Uh, uh, good, good afternoon, everyone. Myself, CA Yash Khandelwal. Welcome you all on behalf of Indore branch of CIRC of ICI in today's VCM on presentation before adjudicating authority and appellate authorities. The appeal procedure may be divided into three phases. First, filing of appeal, return submission, and third, presentation before the authority. In the first phase, it is very important to understand the matter of the case and understand if the matter of the case is appealable or not. In the second phase, drafting plays a very important role to summarize all the facts and replies that has to be given regarding the appeal. Some of the most important legal drafting skills which can be used are laying out the documents in a logical manner, keeping the writing in a very clear and concise manner, avoiding grammatical and lexical errors with respect to the style of the legal text which has been used by you. Like if we are mentioning the case laws, it should be very correct, and we should not corroborate with our appeal should corroborate with it. And finally, editing and correcting the documents in a systematic and a thorough way. In the last and the third phase, presenting your case before the appellate concerned authority in a physical manner, or as in the present circumstances, by a way of faceless assessment or by way of virtual mode. It is very important to present your case in the given time slot and in a very correct way, so that the appealing officer could understand all your points and he could provide the decision accordingly. And today we have very experienced and learned speakers that will help us walk through all the procedures while preparing the appeals and while presenting and submitting and drafting the appeal. Introduction of the speaker, I would like to invite Chairman of Indore branch of ICI, CA Harsh Varoda sir, for his chairman remarks.
Thank you, Yash. Honorable Shri Sansaran Mantriji, IRS, Commissioner of Income Tax Indore, past Chairman of Indore branch, CA Manoj P. Gupta ji, CA Sunil Kumawat ji, CA Rohan Sharma ji, CA Nanvi Gupta ji, CA Anand Govar ji, dear members, I welcome all of you in today's webinar on presentation before Adjudicating and Appellate Authority. After the digitalization of income tax, the way we do practice is changed. Today's webinar will witness 100% of success. As the authority is present himself in the webinar, we welcome you, sir. I welcome Shri Sansaran Mantriji. Sir is continuing guiding to our members and branch and giving advice time from time to enhance our value. Sir received cash awards from Government of India for successful and outstanding search and seizure operation and surveys led by him. Detailed introduction will be given by Yash later on. We welcome you, sir. Welcome you to Indore branch, sir. I welcome today's speaker, CA Manoj P. Gupta ji, past chairman of Indore branch. We decided the program to hold in the month of May, but due to change in system and digitalization, and lot of changes occurred. So we now ready with the new one, and we discuss Manojji and we discuss regarding the program that what now, because this the new system is coming digitalization. So sir has incorporated very changes in the whole process of his presentation. We welcome you, sir. Welcome in Indore branch.
Thank you.
Regarding update related to Indore branch, dear members, membership date fees payment is extended. Please take benefit of that. And second thing which we like to advise everyone is that ICI is taking exam all over the country. All the branches and all the members, staff are day and night working. And Mantri sir, during this pandemic, we are successfully doing this exam. And this is due to efforts of all our branch managing committee members and staff we could able to manage, and the second exam that we are going to have in January also. Thank you very much. Over to you, Yash. Okay, I think there is a connection issue with the Yash. So I will take this opportunity. I will. Yash, you are there? Okay, Tiwari ji, I will going to carry on. Sorry for the disturbance. So let me give you a brief introduction of our today's session chairman, Sri Shansaran Mantri ji. Sri Shansaran Mantri ji belongs to 1992 batch of Indian Revenue Services and presently working as a Commissioner of Income Tax Appeal at Indore. He is BE Honours, MBA Gold Medalist and has done PG PPM postgraduate program in Public Policy and Management from IIM Bangalore. He has also done International Public Policy from the numero uno Public Policy School in the world, Maxwell School of Public Policy, Cyprus, USA. He has also done Tax Policy and International Tax from Stanford School of Public Policy affiliated to Duke's University, Durham, USA. He has done a course in Advanced Auditing of SMEs from OECD, Budapest, Hungary. He is fellow of the prestigious Asia Pacific Leadership Progress APLG G15 conducted by East West Center, USA, where he is not only focused on the critical issues facing the Asia Pacific region, but he was trained for leadership development and mentoring. He has also successfully completed certificate course in competition law, antitrust law from Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, Gurgaon. Sri Mantriji is multifaceted personality with interest as diverse as theatre, dance, and motivational public speaking. He has been a national level debater and has won several prizes at national level in many inter-university debating competition. Sri Mantriji is one of the top motivational speaker and has taken numerous workshops on personality development, leadership, communication, interpersonal relationship, assertiveness, training, self-development, and women empowerment. In fact, the last week also, when we are going to organize the program last week Saturday, sir was doing a webinar on how to say no on women entrepreneurship. He is deeply passionate about using performing arts as a tool of social transformation. He did dissertation in IIM Bangalore on art as a development tool for communication, education, and social action. He has also taken seminar and workshop on effective teaching for faculty members for both college and schools, and is given counting on how to prepare examination and dealing with exam anxiety. He has done extensive work in the area of human behavior and self-development. Based on the extensive research done in the area of human behavior and empowerment, he has written 2 books by the title, Have You Taken Your Dose Today? And Have You Expressed Your Gratitude? Have You Taken Your Dose Today deals with various aspects of the life and is in the form of 365 inspirational and motivational doses to be taken 1 per day, which enables a person to reflect and introspect on his life. Have You Expressed Your Gratitude deals with importance and significance of gratitude in our life and also highlights the danger of ingratitude. He is passionate about working with people in order to empower them, and we can see for the last 3 years how he is giving advice and helping Indore branch to organize successful program. Sri Mantriji has done outstandingly well in his own professional area too. He is known in the department for his inspiring leadership, administrative acumen, and as investigative skill. He has received cash award from the Government of India for successful and outstanding search and seizure operation and surveys led by him. The surveys conducted and assessment completed by him and under his leadership have been consistently recognized at national level as the best practices and have formed part of compilation Let Us Share Volume 1 to 4 by the Central Board of Directors CBDT on regular basis. He has the honor of receiving 6 certificates of appreciation from Government of India for the outstanding work done by him. He has also received a certificate of appreciation for his outstanding contribution in the field of academics and literature from the Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Indore. He has been the leading face of Department on Public Forum and was recently confirmed with Award of Outstanding Organization Leadership on Income Tax Day 2019. We welcome you, sir. We welcome you. Welcome to Indore branch. Over to you, sir. Over to you. Over to you, sir. Over to you.
Hello.
Hello. Mantri sir, over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Harsh. A very good afternoon to everybody. CA Manoj P. Gupta, not only my very good friend, but the chairman and the speaker of this session, all the esteemed members, the office bearers of ICI Indore, whom not only I have a very good personal connect, but also professionally also I've interacted with them on number of occasions. It has been my pleasure and privilege to be on the platform of ICI multiple times, whether on Income Tax Day celebrations or on topics of income tax assessments, appeals, or presentations before various authorities. This gives me a sense of pride that we are moving into an era where transparency is the key word. The Honorable Prime Minister of India on 13th August 2020, while announcing the scheme of honoring the honest taxpayers, started the scheme of faceless assessment from 13th August itself and the faceless appeals from 25th of September 2020. But the electronic proceedings or the digitization of the income tax proceedings are not new to the department. It was the Central Processing Center in Bangalore, which was the first pillar towards digitization of income tax proceedings. And now even the ordinary and common taxpayers realizes the importance of CPC, as when they get the refund in a very small time, like 15 days or 30 days, just a period of month. And then came the CPC TDS at Vaishali, which again simplified and comprehensively laid down the procedures for TDS and thereby removing the physical obstacles which were there in TDS proceedings. The electronic assessment proceedings started somewhere in 2015 and on a pilot basis, and then was extended towards all over India in 2016. But as far as the appellate proceedings are concerned, the appellate proceedings were introduced in electronic form from 1st April 2016, when all the appeals were required to file electronically. However, the proceedings continued in physical form. Only the appeals were filed electronically and the new notices were issued electronically, but the submissions, there was an option available to the taxpayer or the appellant to file his submission either in physical written form or the electronic form, but it was not completely purely electronic. And of course, the appellant had a chance to get himself a hearing before the appellate commissioner. But with this scheme of faceless appellate, the paradigm has completely transformed. It has completely changed. There would be no physical interaction, whether between the appellant or the appellate commissioner or between the authorized representative, which you persons are normally of the taxpayers and the appellate authorities. So now it's all the more vital and important that we should hone our presentation skills. We should fine tune our presentation skills in such a manner that our presentation and submission gets noticed properly. All the points so raised are considered by the appellate authorities properly. If the present trend of filing bulky paper books and elaborate written submissions are continued, probably we would be doing a gross injustice to the appellate authorities also. Appellate authorities are overburdened now, and if you file bulky submissions, nobody would have the patience and time to go through it. I always, whenever I speak on whatever topic, I like to introduce certain abbreviations which facilitate the entire process and sum up the sums and substance of the proceedings. So here I have coined 5 C's. 5 C's. ये पंजा जो आपको दिख रहा है, we have 5 fingers in our hand. So I've coined 5 C's for effective appellate presentation before the appellate commissioner or adjudicating authorities. Yash had touched upon first 2 points. He talked about clarity. Now, clarity is the sine qua non of any submission. Unless the submission is clear and there is clarity in what you want to say to the appellate authority, naturally it has to be inextricably linked with your grounds of appeal. And it has also to be linked in logically with the assessment order where the points regarding your grounds of appeal have been raised. So the clarity has to come with, first of all, with the drafting of grounds of appeal. I have seen some of the grounds of appeal have been drafted such beautifully and in such excellent manner, but at the same time, I get pained when I see जिसमें लिखी पूरी की पूरी कहानी लिख दी गई है और बहुत elaborate grounds of appeal. Grounds of appeal should always be crystal clear and also at the same time concise. That is my second C. First C being clarity, second C being concise. Your grounds of appeal should be concise, and I've seen at many times representing as a departmental authority before the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal also, where the honorable members have asked the authorized representatives to revise their ground of appeal. Or as a commissioner of appeal during the past 4 years, I have also asked, that is to say only a very few times, to revise the ground of appeals, because the ground of appeals have to be not only crystal clear but concise. There is no point. We are not in a race as to how long or how detailed our submission is going to be. We are in era of information age and where time is the major currency and time is most valuable for you as well as the appellate authorities. So you are spending that much time and energy in preparing elaborate submissions, but your elaborate submission, when it was physical appeals, it was okay, fine. Now when it is the electronic submission, we all are human beings. Going through those electronic submissions, running in thousands of pages or running in hundreds of pages, it's going to be completely difficult and it's going to be a very tedious job. And getting relief. See, sometimes the marketing person talks in terms that if you are not able to convince somebody, you confuse the other person. But here, if you try that strategy of confusing the appellate authority, probably you are going to lose your case. So it's better to be clear, concise. And with concise, the third term comes that you have to be crisp. You have to be absolutely crisp. जिसको बोलते हैं ना point wise attack and simple. आपके grounds of appeal बड़े simple language में. We talk about using high words or very cliche words. Don't use them. Use simple words. And when you are coming to the submissions, link your submission to the grounds of appeal logically and also to the relevant para in the assessment order. And if possible, highlight that assessment order para in your submission itself and point out which is the para number, which is the page number. So that, see, these are very small things, but we have this tendency of looking over the larger things, but we tend to forget these small things. So give the para number and the page number of the assessment order from which, because that is the basic document from which your grounds of appeals are emanating. So you have to link your grounds of appeal and submission as well to the particular assessment order and the relevant page in the para at which appearing. And it has to be crisp, to the point. हम लोग वो जैसे पहले एक जमाना था जबकि हम लोग आंसर शीट भरे जाते थे कि जिसने ज्यादा आंसर शीट भरी है उससे उसके ज्यादा नंबर आएंगे. बट माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, वी आर लिविंग इन अ एज वेयर patience is running out. People get impatient very fast. Now, if I look at your submission, if I'm running in pages, I wanted the time and the patience to look after that. And I would say, okay, जो assessing officer ने किया है वो ही confirm कर देता हूँ. I'm just telling you the general mindset. That is how the mindset. See, ultimately, कोई IRS officers या commissioner appeal कोई ऊपर से उड़ के तो आए नहीं है. We are all ultimately human beings only. We also have the same human weaknesses as everybody has. So हमारा पेशेंस भी एक पॉइंट के बाद में रन डाउन हो जाता है. इसलिए अगर आप हमको क्रिस्प फॉर्म में देंगे तो हम उसको ज्यादा अच्छी तरह से डील कर पाएंगे. But at the same time, my friends, when I'm saying concise and when I'm saying crisp, it does not mean that you forget your points, that you neglect the important points. And that is why where my fourth C come into place. Comprehensive. Your arguments, your submission has to be comprehensive, not only on facts, but on legal points as well. Naturally, the first line of attack has to be on the facts. Agar facts ही misrepresent होते हैं, तो you're not going to get success. और अगर असेसिंग ऑफिसर ने आपके फैक्ट्स को गलत परसीव करके गलत पर्सपेक्टिव में रखा है, तो इट इज योर ड्यूटी टू पॉइंट आउट दैट योर ऑनर और सर, असेसिंग ऑफिसर ने सो एंड सो पॉइंट पे कैश क्रेडिट पे इस पर्टिकुलर ये एंट्री को बताया कि ये तो कैश एंट्री है, बट इट वाज एक्चुअली थ्रू अकाउंट पेड चेक. सो दिस इज फैक्चुअली इनकरेक्ट एंड सो द एडिशन मेड इज फैक्चुअली इनकरेक्ट. सो comprehensive has to be there. And then naturally there are some case laws on which the assessing officer has relied. Unfortunately, there are very few case laws on which revenue relies. There are very few orders on which get in favor of revenue. But whatever the case laws the assessing officer has relied, it's your duty to point out the case laws which can effectively rebut the stand of the assessing officer if you are going to succeed. But at the same time, अगर आपको लगता है कि the case law relied by the assessing officer is correct, तो आपको उसको facts पे differentiate करने की कोशिश करिए, उसको circumstances पे in terms of legality differentiate करने की कोशिश करिए. But the essential point is that कि अगर आपको लगता है कि the stand of the assessing officer is correct and the case law relied upon by is correct, so in that manner it's always better to be honest, because ultimately honesty in the long run builds your credibility. Where my fifth C comes, credible. So your arguments have to be credible. If you can, unless your arguments are credible, you cannot sustain, and unless your credibility is built over a period of time based on your arguments, based on the stand you take. Sometimes when I stand in as departmental representative in ITAT, I confess at the very outset, Your Honor, this case is covered against me by your jurisdictional bench order or by the honorable order of the Apex Court. And that honesty is always appreciated. हम किसी को जिग-जैग रास्ते से हम ड्राइव कर रहे हैं कि कोशिश करें अपना पॉइंट. There is no harm in coming clear on a point on which you are covered against. the case law or the facts are against, तो आपको ये स्वीकार करने में आपको कोई तकलीफ नहीं होनी चाहिए कि this point is against me and or this particular case law is covered against me. See, it's not a game of ego we are playing. We are not playing for ourselves. You are working for your clients. और अगर आप अपनी और खुद के लिए भी, see, over a period of time you develop a reputation. I know संचेती जी की, मदन लाल जी संचेती यहाँ पर है, the honorable member of sales tax tribunal in Bhopal, and he would appreciate this point that अगर हम किसी को गलत बहका के कुछ गलत केस लॉ में उलझाकर हम वो फेवर लेना भी चाहें तो वो फेवर बहुत दिन नहीं टिकता, वो जाके हाई कोर्ट में ओवर रूल हो जाएगा, जाके अपेक्स कोर्ट में ओवर रूल हो जाएगा. तो और that applies at all forums of appellate forums or judicial forums. We have to be honest in terms of presenting our arguments and presenting our case laws. So that is the fifth point, credibility, and that is the most important point for your client, for yourself, and for the system to run very well in long term. Ultimately, credibility के बिना इंसान की भी कोई value नहीं रहती है. So we have to be credible in our actions, in our behavior, in terms of our talking and in terms of our deeds. So I believe I have tried to build up the foundation for today's lecture about the presentation and before appellate and adjudicating authority in the faceless forum. Now your verbal skills play a lesser role. Your verbal skills are required only for consultation with your client. Naturally, आप client की बात को तब तक ढंग से नहीं समझ पाएंगे जब तक कि आप उस पर पूरा focus नहीं करेंगे. So there your listening skills would required in understanding the case of your client, and उसको जब तक आप अच्छी तरह से client के case को नहीं समझेंगे, naturally अब आपको verbal form में तो present नहीं करना है, but you have to put it in the written form, and there your एक दो जो छोटी बातें यश ने बोली मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी. I am very particular about not making a grammatical mistake. मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता कि मेरे खुद के appellate orders में अगर मैं साइन करने से पहले दो बार पढ़ता हूं कि एक कॉमा, पंक्चुएशन की, फुल स्टॉप की भी मिस्टेक नहीं हो, क्योंकि that shows your attitudes towards your professional work. This is our livelihood. This is giving us livelihood. तो इस चीज को हमको सीरियसली लेना चाहिए. I have seen at times जब ARs के जो रिटन सबमिशन होते हैं ग्रामेटिकली रॉन्ग होते हैं, ग्रामेटिकली कई बार इतने रॉन्ग हो जाते हैं कि दे कंप्लीटली ट्विस्ट द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट. अब जैसे एक छोटी सी बात है, जैसे एक हेडक्वार्टर से मैसेज कन्वे होता है पुलिस वाले को, रोको, कॉमा मत जाने दो. He has to stop, not to be allowed to go. बट इसको अगर हमने इतना चेंज कर दिया, रोको मत, कॉमा जाने दो, तो मतलब पूरा मीनिंग ही ट्विस्ट हो गया. तो इस तरह से अब आपको ये चीज समझनी पड़ेगी अच्छी तरह से कि नाउ यू डोंट हैव एन अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ वर्बल प्रेजेंटेशन अनलेस स्पेसिफिकली अप्रूव्ड बाय द चीफ कमिश्नर ऑफ इनकम टैक्स. उसमें आपको वीडियो कॉल पे हियरिंग का मौका मिलेगा, एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी, बट अदरवाइज आपको वर्बल अपॉर्चुनिटी प्रेजेंट करने की नहीं मिलेगी. तो अगर आपके कॉमा पंक्चुएशन से फैक्ट्स ट्विस्ट हो जाते हैं, फैक्ट्स का, सेंटेंसेस का मीनिंग बदल जाता है, तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू फोकस on this particular aspect also, because I have seen at number of times जो authorized representative के submissions आते हैं वो grammatically और punctuation point of view से कई बार गलती होती है. I know it's too late in our lives to learn grammar, but yes, learning it can be learned at any stage. And see what type of impression does it convey to the other person when you're either factually, grammatically or जैसे कि उसने बोला इन टर्म्स ऑफ लीगल लैंग्वेज और लेक्सिकॉन के टर्म्स में अगर आपका प्रेजेंट सबमिशन गलत होता है तो इट मेक्स एन ओवरऑल अ रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन. सो ये छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं, बट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम बड़ी चीजें बन जाती हैं, और इन छोटी चीजों को अगर हम इग्नोर करने लगते हैं तो हमारा ओवरऑल जो जिस फाउंडेशन पे हम बिल्डिंग बनाने जा रहे हैं वो फाउंडेशन ही कमजोर होती है. तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू गिव आवर अटेंशन ऑन दीज स्मॉल थिंग्स. And I'm so happy that ICI Indore, under the leadership of CA Harsh Firoda, has taken up this very important topic, because it's the need of the day, because now the complete paradigm has changed, the complete matrix of communication has changed. So we have to learn the new matrix of communication. We have to learn the rules of the new game. It's a new set of rules completely. We have to understand those rules very well. We have to understand the technical points which Manoj P. Gupta ji would be highlighting upon. बट मैंने जो ये ओवरऑल एक ब्रॉड समरी में मैंने कोशिश की है कि आपको एक इम्पोर्टेंट चीजों पर मैं अपना जो चीजें मेरी ध्यान में आती हैं और मुझे लगता है कि इन चीजों पे मुझे आपसे बात करनी थी, तो आई हैव पुट ड्रॉन योर अटेंशन टुवर्ड दीज पॉइंट्स एंड आई एम श्योर you will all take care of these points. And at this point, I would like to finish my opening remarks. Probably I have taken little too long, but that is why when मंत्री को आप माइक पकड़ा दोगे, मंत्री लोग आसानी से माइक नहीं छोड़ते हैं. But still, it was a pleasure to speak on such important topic. So thank you, Harsh, and it's over to you again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For your wonderful elaboration and your perspective and the 5 C's, which would help all our professional colleagues, even the youngsters like us, to how to draft a statement and how to present ourselves in the appeal, so that we can provide a better result for our client and better facility for even the authorities, so that they can get more clear aspect of our perspective. Now, next, I would like to invite our next speaker, Sir CA Manoj P. Gupta, sir. He's a MCOM gold medalist and currently practicing CA, and he also has a degree certification of FAFP from ICI. He is a senior partner in KK Company Chartered Accountants, and he's a director Fabulous Private Limited into Indore. The company is engaged in corporate and financial consultancy. He started his career as a merchant bank with a merchant banking company at Mumbai, and handled public offers at various companies, including matters related to SEBI and stock exchanges. Presently, he's handling matters relating to income tax, indirect taxes, and financial consultancy. He was a secretary of Madhav College of Students Union in the year 1989. He has been 2-time member of Management Committee of Indore branch of ICI. He has held the positions of Sikasa chairman as well as chairman of Indore branch of CIRC. Under his leadership, he has coordinated in various branches after completion of his 2 terms of managing committee. He has been nominated in Regional Direct Tax Advisory Committee by CBDT. He has been executive member of Tax Practitioner Association from last 5 years, and he is currently joint secretary at Tax Practitioner Associations Indore. He is regularly writing newspapers and magazines. He is associated with Dainik Bhaskar for his special edition on Property Bhaskar. He has written a series on GST titled as GST Ki Pathshala for leading newspaper Nai Duniya. Recognized as a luminary top CAs of MP and Chhattisgarh by Dainik Bhaskar in 2017. He has been a very close friend of my father also, and he has also guided me in various aspects. So it's my real honor to invite CA Manoj Gupta, sir, for his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Yash. Good evening, one and all. At the outset, I would like to thank Indore CA branch, and more specifically CA Harsh Firoda, chairman of our Indore branch, for making me a part of this webinar and for giving me an opportunity to share my experiences and views on today's subject. We are equally delighted to have Shri SS Mantri Sahab who is Commissioner Appeals Income Tax at Indore. And I would like to thank for all his generosity, because whenever we feel like, whenever Indore CA Parivar invites him, he's quite generous in accepting our invitation. Now, Shri Mantri ji is not only a very recognized to be very respectable and learned officer in Income Tax Department, but he is a versatile personality having area of interest in different fields. Just a few minutes back, he was telling right now he's learning dancing. So he's a management student. He is, I mean, a man of income tax. He has learned so many laws. He studied management as well. He is keen in singing, dancing. He is taking keen part in sports. He is doing cycling also. So he's a very versatile personality, and we are honored, sir, to have amongst us, especially on the topic, on today's topic, presentation skills. And in fact, we got the right feedback and right insight from you, because you are not only listening to the appeals filed by our members, you are also representing department in the ITAT. So who could be a better person than you, who can tell us about how to appear before various adjudicating authorities and various appellate authorities, and how to make our presentation well. And we have learned today 5 C's from you, and I'm sure we all are benefited from all the insights which you have given. Besides, friends, like me, many other friends also know Mantri ji is, I mean, he enjoys every minute of his life, and he plans his weekends very well in time, and he takes no chance, I mean, in enjoying whatever things he does. So it's really an honor to have Mantri Saab with us today. And as my memory goes on, I have not seen a commissioner of such a versatility in income tax department, because many of the commissioners, though they are very good human being and very good at their respective jobs, but they were, I mean, confined themselves to the income tax work and to the departmental kind of things. And Mantri Saab is one of the person which I remember. He is a person of, I mean, different kind of things he pursues, and he does lot many things. So we are thankful from Indore CA branch and from Indore CA Parivar sir for joining us and for always enlightening all of us with the experience, with the kind of experience you have. Now, friends, coming to today's topic about presentation skills, I would be more focusing on the income tax appeals, but also some of the few things which, I mean, in my view, we need to take care while appearing before any adjudicating authorities also. Now, before I start, I have certain disclaimers. One thing is, first disclaimer is on September 2020, the CBDT has issued a notification number 76 by 2020 about, and they have launched a faceless appeal scheme. Now, with this scheme, with this notification, all the appeals will be faceless now. I would be discussing those areas of scheme, how faceless scheme is going to work, because it is, I mean, lot many things are yet to be notified and lot many things are yet to come into the public domain and amongst the professionals, how the entire scheme would work. So we would be looking at this. But in my submissions, because we have certain experience before the faceless regime, so I might be covering certain other areas which we have been learning through, which we have been, I mean, passing through. And at times it may look irrelevant right now, but the basic foundation or basic theory remains the same. How to go about the appeal and how to pursue the any kind of notice or any kind of show cause notice before any adjudicating authority. Secondly, friends, apart from this appeal, there are many areas where we still need to appear in a, we need to present in a personally, and have to present our case in a physical form. So there might be few things, say Mantri ji has elaborated on all those things, but still I would try to share my experience also on those aspects, wherein when we appear before an any adjudicating authority or any authority, so what care we need to take, I would like to share all those things also. And friends, Harsh Firodaji, the chairman of Indore branch, has advised me for today's topic. He advised me to to speak more on the practical aspects than on the legal aspects. So I have tried to keep a balance on those things. He has also requested me to talk about the faceless scheme, and he has made a very specific request. What sort of preparation is to be done while filing an appeal? What sort of preparation is required to be done while preparing written submission, and what sort of preparation is required to be done while we appear before an adjudicating authority. So keeping all the instructions of our chairman, I will try to cover all those things in my presentation. Mantri sir has already spoken about the things, and I equally share the same idea. We need to be very precise, and gone are the days where we could have impressed the appellate authorities or adjudicating authorities by giving bulky submissions. I am also of the view our presentation needs to be very crisp, and in fact we should present our case in a 1 page or 2, supported by all the relevant documents. Now coming to the today's topic about appeals. What is the dictionary meaning of appeal? Let us try to understand that. The Webster's dictionary has defined the the word appeal, which means the removal of a difficulty or a case or a suit from an inferior authority to a superior authority or a court for his review or for his examination. So this is the dictionary meaning of the word appeal. Now, so far as Income Tax Act is concerned, Section 246A deals with the provisions of the appeal before Commissioner Appeals. And as happens, friend, at times we receive intimation from the department raising certain demand, or where certain claim is reduced, or certain exemption is disallowed, or any loss is reduced, or income is enhanced. Income is enhanced in the assessment order. So in all such cases, what we need to do is we need to file an appeal. We need to go to the appellate forum and we need to file an appeal. And along with the assessment order, the demand notice is also issued under Section 156. And there only it is written where we need to apply for getting relief in the appeal, and to what would be the jurisdiction. Now with the changing times, the details will come in that manner also, where we need to apply for the faceless appeals. Now we need to know what are the appealable orders. Friends, appealable orders are given under Section 246A1, which deals with what are the appealable orders. So I'm just producing a gist of all those orders. If we receive any order or intimation from CPC under Section 143(1), and against those advices or those intimations, if we are aggrieved, we can file an appeal. Then there are scrutiny assessment under Section 143(3). Then there are base judgment assessment under Section 144. Then there are reassessment orders passed after reopening the assessment under Section 147 and 150. Then there are search assessment orders under Section 153 and block assessment under Section 158C, 158BC, in fact. Then there are rectification orders under Section 154 or amendment orders under Section 154 and 155. Then there could be an order under Section 163 treating a taxpayer as an agent of non-resident. There could be order passed under Section 172 subsection 3, assessing the successor of the business in respect of the income earned by a predecessor. Then there could be order under section 171 recording the partition of Hindu undivided family. There could be order under section 201 oblique or 206C, which deals with TDS or TCS provisions, where assessee is treated as in default while not complying with the TDS provisions for non-deduction of tax or non-payment of tax. There could be an order determining refund under section 237, and there could be penalty orders under various sections which covers default in payment of tax, concealment of income, non-compliances of notices, TDS, TCS matters, and failure to get accounts audited. So these are the gist of the sections and gist of the orders which are appealable before the Commissioner appeals. We need to take care when we proceed for an appeal whether the order is appealable before Commissioner appeals or not. Now it is equally important to know which are the orders which could not be appealed before Commissioner appeals. So largely the orders passed by the commissioners, principal commissioners, cannot be appealed before CIT appeals. Majority of the orders are under section 12AA, where there is refusal of granting exemption, granting or cancellation of registration of a trust. Then there could be order under section 80G, subsection 5, rejecting or refusing the grant of certificate. There could be order under section 263, revision order prejudicial to the interest of the revenue. There could be penalty order passed by the principal commissioner under section 270A, 271 and 272A. There could be an order in pursuance of the directions given by dispute resolution panel in respect of the transfer pricing, and there could be order passed after invocation of GAR provisions. These are the orders which cannot be appealed before the Commissioner of Income Tax Appeal. We need to approach either to the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal or to the High Court for filing appeal against these orders. Now, friends, how to file an appeal? As all of us know, majority of us know, appeal is to be filed in form number 35, and wherein details like the name of the assessee, PAN number, address, etc. is given, and the details of order against which we are making appeal is required to be written. As rightly said by Mantriji, since 2016, the appeal is to be e-filed, and from the registered account, any assessee can file an appeal on the e-filing portal. The important thing is in the form number 35, there is a column called relief claimed in appeal. So we need to be very categorical in what kind of relief we are asking for, and it would be better if we quantify that relief. What sort of relief we want? If we quantify that, that would be better. So in this manner, we need to file the form number 35, which is a prerequisite for approaching to the Commissioner appeals against any order. Now, it is equally important to know who is required to sign the form number 35. In case of individual or sole proprietor, he himself is required to sign the form number 35, or he can authorize somebody else on his behalf. He can give his power of attorney, and on his behalf, any other person can sign the form number 35. In respect of HUF, Karta is required to file the form number 35. But if Karta is not available, or if he is not capable of signing, then any adult member can sign that form. In respect of company, managing director is supposed to file to sign the form. If managing director is not available, then any director can can sign this form number 35. In respect of foreign companies, any power of attorney holder he is supposed to sign on the form number 35. In respect of partnership firms, the managing partner can sign the form. In respect of LLP, the designated partner is required to sign the form. In respect of association of person and local bodies, the principal officer is required to sign the form. And in respect of any appeal filed by a political party, the CEO is required to sign the form. And one more class has come up with this budget. As we all are aware of, many insolvency proceedings are going on under the IBC code, where IP is appointed, an insolvency professional is appointed. Now he is also authorized to sign the form number 35 on behalf of that company of which he has been appointed as insolvency professional. So now he has been recognized as one of the signatory for filing the form number 35. So this is all about filing the form number 35, and presuming a form number 35 has been filed by a person who was not entitled to file that form, then in that case his form number 35 can be rejected. But before rejection of that form, an opportunity of being heard is required to be given to that assessee by the respective commissioner appeals. Now coming to the friends, what documents which we required to upload now or file along with the form number 35. So we need to file the copy of the assessment order. We need to file the copy of demand notice. We need to file the power of attorney. We need to file any other document which becomes very, very important. And in respect of penalty cases, we need to file the original assessment order where the income has been, where concealment or any kind of thing is found, based on which a penalty proceeding was initiated. So the assessment order, the original assessment order and the penalty order, both are required to be filed in case of cases where appeal is being filed against the penalty orders. Now we need to pay the appeal fees also. Appeal fees is very minimal. In fact, if the income assessed is rupees 1 lakh only, then the appeal fee is just rupees 250. And if the income assessed is up to rupees 2 lakhs, then the appeal filing fees is 500 rupees. And any income assessed above rupees 2 lakhs, the appeal filing fees is just 1000 rupees. In 1000 rupees, छोटे से पैसे में बहुत बड़ा न्याय करदाता को मिल सकता है. 1000 rupees is required to be paid for any income which is assessed more than rupees 2 lakhs. And for any other matters other than this, the appeal filing fees is rupees 250 only. Now friends, come the issue, the time limit of filing the appeal. The appeal is required to be filed within the 30 days of receiving the order. If any delay is made, if the appeal is filed beyond 30 days time, then the Commissioner Appeals have all the powers and right to admit that appeal. He can admit that appeal, and for admitting that appeal, what we need to do is we need to file an application of condonation of delay, why this appeal was not filed. And if you are able to prove our case, if you are able to justify the delay, then Commissioner Appeals would certainly allow that appeal and they will certainly hear that case. I have not came across any case in my professional life where condonation of delay was not allowed by the respective commissioners. They have always been generous. They are always willing to hear to the assessee, and they try to give them justice, and they allow the condonation of delay also. Now friends, comes the very, very important part of the appeal, for which we need to be very, very careful. Statement of facts and grounds of appeal occupies a very important part in any appeal proceeding, and we need to be very careful while drafting a statement of fact and while drafting grounds of appeal. Mantri Sahab has rightly said, at times he has found that the statement of fact or ground of appeal were not properly drafted. So friends, if that is the case, then there could be a chance of losing a good case also if we have not prepared the facts or grounds of appeal in a proper manner. I have seen many cases where statement of facts are not written properly, and some professionals even write as per grounds of appeal. On the column of statement of facts, they write as per grounds of appeal, which is incorrect according to me. Statement of fact is something very, very different than grounds of appeal. And we need to be very careful on this aspect also. Now, why statement of fact, the filing of statement of fact becomes important before Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals is because of the fact, friends, if by chance the case is escalated and it is, if it goes to another level, then the documents, statement of fact and grounds of appeal presented before Commissioner of Appeals becomes an important point of document before Income Tax Appellate Tribunal and High Court. So if we miss that opportunity of preparing a proper statement of facts, that particular thing would be missing in the proceedings before ITAT. Now, if we want to produce new facts before ITAT, it would be very difficult for the tribunal to accept those facts, and a probability can come wherein the ITAT can remand back the case to the assessing officer again in the light of new facts submitted by the appellant, and in that process there would be great loss of time and the entire thing would get delayed. So I would suggest, I would in fact request all of you to be very careful and always try to draft a statement of facts very well. Now, friends, what should be covered in statement of facts? I have tried to jot down certain points on this. The statement of facts should be very comprehensive and it should be complete, and it should we should narrate the nature of business of the assessee, method cyclical doing, because this will help us in detailed written submission. So we need to write what sort of business an assessee is doing. And similarly, friends, all kind of factual errors, incorrectness, or other observations which were not correct, if they are made by the assessing officer, then you can jot down all those facts in the statement of facts itself, and you can narrate everything. If the assessing officer has not given you a proper opportunity, or if he has not allowed you to produce certain records, document, or evidences, all these things can make a part of the statement of facts. So we should try to make a complete kind of statement of facts, that too in a precise manner, and we should not lose this opportunity of bringing all the factual things before the appellate authority. Now, friend, comes grounds of appeal, which is again very, very important, and which forms the very basis, and which becomes a focal kind of thing while an order is passed by the Commissioner Appeals or even by appellate tribunals. So grounds of appeal, we need to be very careful, because that represents the nature of dispute between the assessee and the revenue. Through grounds of appeal, you can only bring to the notice what sort of dispute is there between the revenue and between the taxpayer. And secondly, what sort of issues are to be decided by the appellate authority. For that thing, we need to form proper grounds of appeal. The CIT appeal or any authority, appellate authority, would be taking decision of framing their order based on those grounds of appeal only. So what is to be decided by the appellate authority needs to be brought in the form of grounds of appeal. And we need to be very careful now, because we would be losing the opportunity of speaking before any appellate authority, as we have moved into the faceless regime of appeal. So the drafting and the drafting the grounds of appeal in a very proper manner and making it presenting in a proper manner becomes very, very important, because we would not be getting any chance to explain any kind of thing which we used to do orally in the earlier regime. And friends, as rightly pointed out by the Mantri Sahab, he has come across grounds of appeal where entire story has been narrated. This is not in fact expected. The grounds of appeal needs to be very precise one, because the ground of appeal is a sort of nature of a claim. It is not an argument in itself. Argument could be manifold, but the nature of claim remains one only. So we need to look into this from this perspective. What sort of claim we are trying to raise, that only should form the part of ground of appeal, and not other arguments. Arguments you can take up while filing the written submissions. So friends, summing up what needs to be done while framing the grounds of appeal, there are few points. Uh, all the causes of grievances need to be form the part of grounds of appeal. जो हमारी grievance शिकायतें assessment order से related है, we need to form them as part of grounds of appeal. And grounds should be very simple, concise and specific, as it was rightly said by Mantri Sahab also. Grounds should be serially numbered. You cannot, write hashtag or dots before the grounds of appeal, because the decision would be taken based on the number you are putting in the grounds of appeal. So they should be properly serially numbered, and there should be separate ground for each edition. Say you have 5 kind of edition in the assessment order, so we need to prepare 5 grounds of appeal for all those different editions. All cannot be put in one place. We need to have separate grounds for each edition. Then we need to avoid case laws while framing the grounds of appeal. It is not required. You need to state the factual position only, and it is not desirable to write case laws in the grounds of appeal itself. So any mention of case laws should be avoided in the grounds of appeal. And friends, important thing, we need to take an alternative ground also. Alternative plea or alternative ground or without prejudice kind of ground, meaning thereby, say for example, if an assessee has failed to deduct the tax, deduct the TDS on any sum on account of any interpretation issue or any kind of confusion, so he would certainly be treated as assessee in default, and the tax recovery would be made from him. Now, this could be a ground of appeal under such and such circumstances or under such and such interpretation issue, he has failed to deduct the tax. The alternative ground could be without prejudice to the above ground, if the person of whose deduction was required to be made, if he has paid the full amount of tax, then the assessee cannot be treated as assessee in default. If that is the case, then you can take an alternative ground. Since the deductor has already deductee has already paid the tax, hence this ground can be taken. If the first ground is not allowed, then this alternative ground can be taken up. So we need to be careful. We can raise an alternative ground and without prejudice ground also, and we can always take a residuary ground which states like which we generally write that the appellant craves leaves to add, alter, amend, or withdraw any or all of the aforesaid grounds of appeal. We can write in this manner also. That is called a residuary ground. So we need to be careful, friends. The grounds of appeal forms the soul of the entire appellate proceedings. So we need to be very, very careful. We need to study all the aspects very well, and we need to draft grounds of appeal in a very proper manner. And one of my young friend today asked me how to go about learning of, how to learn how to frame the grounds of appeal. So the simplest thing which is available is if you refer to the tribunal decisions, then you can make out the kind of grounds of appeal which have been taken by the veterans and the experienced chartered accountants and our professionals. From there and there, you can learn how to frame good grounds of appeal. Now, friends, comes the aspect of filing of additional evidences. during the course of appeal, we may come across a situation where we need to produce additional evidences before the Commissioner of Appeals. Per se, the additional evidences cannot be produced because they were not available before the assessing authority, based on which he has framed the assessment order. Since those documents were missing, so he has framed the assessment order. And since those documents were not available before him, so CIT appeal cannot directly take the additional evidences. But there are certain circumstances wherein additional evidences can be produced before the CIT appeals. And those cases are where the assessing officer, while doing the assessment itself, has refused to accept those evidences. यदि इनकम टैक्स ऑफिसर या असेसिंग ऑफिसर ने कोई एविडेंस लेने से ही मना कर दिया हो, तो फिर the additional evidences can be admitted before the CIT appeals. Or there could be a case where a proper opportunity for producing those evidences is not allowed to the assessee. उसको मौका ही नहीं दिया, समय ही नहीं दिया कि वो अपना evidences produce कर सके. ऐसे केस में भी we can request for producing the additional evidences. Or there could be a case where the assessee was prevented from producing additional evidences, like where a confirmation is sought from the unsecured lender, and the questionnaire was issued to the assessee, and a time of say 7 days is given. In that period of 7 days, he was able to produce a confirmation and bank statement, but he was not able to produce the he was not able to produce the bank statement. He was able to procure from the unsecured lender at a later date. So he was in fact prevented at that particular point of time from producing that particular evidence. Or there could be third-party confirmations front. Confirmations are required, and a notice under section 133(6) is issued to different parties. And at times it can happen when the notices which were issued under 133(6) to the third parties, they could not be delivered because of change in address. So in such circumstances, friends, the assessee was prevented from producing those kind of confirmation. So this is a fit case where additional evidences can be requested to be admitted before the Commissioner of Appeals. Now, how to produce those additional evidences? That methodology is given in the Rule 46A itself, where a petition is required to be filed under Rule 46A, and where an assessee needs to elaborate as to why he was prevented from producing those kind of evidences before the assessing officer. And if he is able to justify, if he is able to convince on those points to the CIT appeals, an opportunity should be given to produce those evidences, then certainly CIT appeals always allow and admit those evidences. But they equally give an opportunity to the assessing officer by sending again those evidences to the assessing officer for his remand report, and the case is remanded back on those issues to the assessing officer. And friends, what we need to do thereafter, if we get a remand report from the assessing officer, we can ask for a copy of that remand report, and based on that remand report, we can again submit our arguments, our submissions. If something has gone wrong or interpreted wrong, then we can again submit all our details before the CIT appeals. There could be a second category also, where the relevant evidences were available, but for pursuing a particular ground of appeal, if CIT appeal wants to produce further additional evidences, then in that case, he may decide to send those evidences before assessing officer. He may decide not to send, or he may pursue on his own, whether on those particular additional evidences. Now, friends, come some other points apart from this additional evidences. that is the payment of accepted tax liability. Now, friends, before an appeal can be taken up, the income which you have declared, you need to pay the tax on that income. जो रिटर्न आपने फाइल किया है उस पर आपको टैक्स भरना ही पड़ेगा before your appeal is pursued. Then, friends, as soon as we get an assessment order, three things are required to be done in my view, which needs to be done on a simultaneous basis. One thing is filing of an appeal if we are aggrieved by the assessment order. This is number one. Number two, we need to file a stay petition for staying the demand of the tax which has been demanded in the assessment order. And the third thing which is required to be done, because a penalty, a notice of penalty is also issued along with the assessment order, we need to file an application for keeping the penalty proceedings in abeyance. So all these three things are required to be done simultaneously while we prepare for, while preparing for the filing of appeal itself. So we need to do all these three things while filing the appeal. Now, as far as stay of demand is concerned, friends, it becomes very, very important when the tax demand is higher and we need to immediately apply for staying of the demand. Now, it is a common practice. There is an instruction number 1914, 19,014, issued in the year 1996, which has been modified on 29th of February 2016, and thereafter further it was modified on 31st of July 2017. Now, this intimation after modification has come into place, wherein we need to deposit at least 20% of the disputed tax before going into appeal. In fact, the assessing officer will press hard. They will try कि आप 20% tax जमा कर दें, and thereafter stay can be granted. Now, friend, there could be case where assessing officer can even demand higher amount of tax before allowing the stay petition or before accepting the stay petition or stay application. Those cases have been enumerated under the office memorandum which has been issued by the CBDT in respect of stay of demand. This talks about there could be cases where higher amount is required to be paid for allowing the stay petition, stay of demand application. Those cases are like where addition was made in the earlier period on the same ground and that was sustained by the CIT appeal, or there was a case where an issue was decided in favor of the revenue by concerned ITAT or by the concerned High Court or even Supreme Court. Then in those cases, paying just 20% would not be enough, and assessing officer will approach to the concerned CIT and he would be asking for the higher payment of tax, and 20% of tax would not be just enough in such cases. Recently, we have seen cases at Indore, across India, in fact, where there were issues of relating to the penny stock, and where the department, in fact, made a lot of efforts and pressurized all the assessees to pay higher tax, more than, in fact, 20% of the disputed demand. So, paying just 20% would not be enough in such cases. Now, there could be a case where there is a high pitch assessment and where the assessee is in fact not able to even pay 20% of the demand. So in such cases, he can apply to the assessing officer and he can request, he can show all his, demonstrate all the circumstances, and he can produce the evidences wherein he is finding it difficult to pay even 20% of the tax, and the assessing officer can approach to the concerned commissioner or joint commissioner, and he can take up the matter, and if the circumstances are such, then even payment of less than 20% can be allowed before, for giving stay of demand. So both kind of cases are covered. Now, friends, while passing any stay of demand order or stay while allowing any stay petition, the assessing officer may ask an assessee to undertake for an early disposal of appeal, or he may sort of undertaking the कि भाई a stay of demand will not be for, in fact, for a longer time. It can be reviewed, and he may even ask an assessee an undertaking कि any refund, if there is any refund in subsequent years, then that can be adjusted against this disputed demand. So friends, we need to understand this whole procedure of stay of demand very well, because eventually this exercise will run along with the entire appellate proceeding also. So we need to be very careful, and we need to apply for stay of demand in time. Now friends, coming to the powers of Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals, and how the Act has empowered the Commissioner Appeals, we need to know that also. So the CIT appeal has a lot of powers, and there is a myth that there cannot be enhancement in the income once an assessment has been done. Then in the appeal you are going to get a relief only. That is not the case, friends. CIT appeal is empowered to enhance the income. He can enhance the assessed income. CIT appeal is empowered to reduce that income. CIT appeal has the power to sustain that appeal order, or he may set aside that order also. So the power of CIT appeals are immense. Secondly, the important thing is where income enhancement cannot be done. That is a case of Shapurji Polanji of Supreme Court. Any income which has not been reported in the income tax return by the assessee, or any income which is not forming part of the assessment order, on those points, on those sources of income, CIT appeal is not empowered to make any enhancement. That is the thing which is need to be kept in mind. He cannot travel beyond the computation of income or beyond those income which have been taken up in the assessment orders. Similarly, in respect of penalty orders, the CIT appeal can reduce that penalty. He can confirm that penalty. He can reject that penalty order, or he may enhance the penalty also. So that can be done by CIT appeal. CIT appeal can allow, as I have already told you, CIT appeal can allow condonation of delay in filing the appeal. CIT appeal can admit additional evidences. CIT appeal can allow admission of additional grounds of appeal. And one thing which we need to keep in mind, friends, after filing the appeal, we cannot withdraw that appeal. We per se, we cannot withdraw that appeal. We can only suggest the CIT appeal. We are not pressing his appeal, and at his discretion, then appeal can be dismissed. Suo moto, we cannot, withdraw our appeal. And friends, CIT appeal can also grant the stay of demand. If it is not granted by the assessing officer, then CIT appeal is empowered to grant the stay of demand also. Now, friends, coming to the relevant thing which is happening now, from theaters we have moved to the multiplexes, and now we have gone to the OTT platform. Similar is the thing which is going on the different spheres, and income tax department is also not untouched with all this. We are now moving to the, after moving from the regime of the faceless assessment, now we are moving in the regime of faceless appeals. From 25th of September, on 25th of September, CBDT has issued a notification number 76/2020, wherein faceless appeal scheme has been rolled out. So from 25th of September, appeals would be faceless. For this, what has been done is the scheme has been notified, and as per the scheme, a national faceless appeal center will be set up. Then regional faceless appeal center will also be set up. So 4 national faceless appeal centers have been set up and which have been notified, that is Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. And with them, regional faceless appeal centers have come up, and there is appeal unit. So there are 3 kind of centers for hearing the faceless appeals. One is National Faceless Appeal Center, second is Regional Faceless Appeal Center, and third is appeal units. So there would be 3 centers for handling the faceless appeal issues. These are almost akin to the faceless assessment kind of scheme, where we are having National E-Assessment Center, Regional E-Assessment Centers, assessment units, verification units, technical units, review units. In the same fashion, these 3 units have been established for, for handling the faceless appeal process. Now, the faceless appeal in a nutshell is in fact doing everything online, filing of appeal, then getting appeal notice, then submission, then putting in written submissions, then the review unit, then there could be an unit which would be passing an order, then there could be a final communication, there could be rectification order, there could be review orders. So all this would be done through these 3 centers in a faceless manner only. One important thing, personal hearing is allowed in certain cases. Those particular cases have been enumerated where personal hearing would be allowed instead of a faceless appeal. Those cases would be where appeal relates to the serious frauds, and where appeal relates to the major tax evasions. Then there could be sensitive search matters. There could be issues relating to the international taxation, and there could be issues which are covered by the Black Money Act. These all appeals which are related to this kind of things would be heard personally, and they would not be faceless. That is given in the scheme. Similarly, a request can be made for personal hearing before the Commissioner Appeals, who would be in charge of regional appeal center, and he can notify the cases where an personal hearing might be through a video conferencing can be allowed. There could be cases where records could be voluminous, or where there could be certain things which needs a personal kind of hearing. So there would be an notification on this also, which cases could be covered where an assessee or an authorized representative can request for a personal hearing, and that personal hearing would certainly be made by in a digital mode, might be through video conferencing. Now, in the faceless regime, how the orders are going to be framed, that scheme is also given, friends. So there is one appeal unit which is called AU. There would be appeal unit, and they would be looking at a particular case, and they would be giving their draft order. They would be submitting their draft order to the National Faceless Appeal Center. They would be submitting, appeal unit would be submitting the draft order to the National Faceless Appeal Center, and National Appeal Center will assign that particular draft order to another appeal unit. It would be given to the appeal unit number 2 for their review, for their consideration. And if appeal unit number 2 finds there are certain things which need to be incorporated in this appeal order, or income is to be enhanced, or certain disallowance are to be made, or certain relief is to be given, then they will again approach to the National Faceless Appeal Center along with their recommendations and along with their order and with their observation. Thereafter, the entire this draft order along with the recommendation of the appeal unit 2 will go to appeal unit 3. So in the whole process, there would be 3 appeal units which would be considering a particular case, and at every stage a review kind of thing would be done. And if the appeal unit 3 decides to pass an order, and so they need to give, I mean, they are, I mean, if not, they are not allowing particular grounds of appeal, or if they want to make certain enhancement or addition, then they will issue a show cause notice again to the appellant and to the authorities representative for their comments, and based on all those things, a final order would be framed. So there would be a team kind of work for, I mean, dealing with the appeals now in the faceless environment. And there would be 3 units who would be handling the faceless appeal work. And this will definitely enhance the transparency. The quality of order would be better. But friends, there would be challenges also, because the system is new and we don't know how it's going to unfold in the days to come. So in this faceless design, though there would be transparency, but friends, we need to work very, very hard. We need to be very careful now, because gone are the days when we could have submitted something in writing and therefore thereafter could have submitted something while we were personally appearing before the CIT appeals. Gone are the days now. We would only be given an opportunity to present our case in writing. And for this thing, I need to point one or two important things. Now, before we respond to any kind of assessment order in the appeal, we need to be very careful, and we need to carefully go through the particular sections wherein the assessment has been framed or where addition has been made, because the appellate unit, the appeal unit, which would be, I mean, there would be 3 units which would be looking at the return submissions. So we need to be very careful what is the provision of the section, what is expected from the assessee, and where the assessing officer has erred or where he has gone wrong. So all these things need to be very carefully drafted, and again that too in a very precise manner. So on that front, friends, we need to work very, very hard, because if you are not able to, I mean, write properly or give a proper written submission, then there is a chance that we could be losing our case, because we will not be getting any opportunity of orally expressing any kind of thing. So we need to be very careful on this. So friend, this was in a nutshell about the faceless appeals. Details are yet to come. Lot many details will be rolled out, and a proper kind of procedure would be in place shortly. And there could be initial hiccups also, but gradually we all will be accustomed with faceless appeals also. Now friends, comes the important part for which the chairman of Indore branch has, I mean, suggested me to take up the certain practical aspects of pursuing an appeal or pursuing any case before any adjudicating authority. Mantri Sahib has talked about 5 C's, and he has very clearly tried to suggest and advised us that we need to be very careful. If we take care of those 5 C's, we will be able not only to help the appellate authority, but eventually we would be helping our client, our assessee. If we are clear, then it would be easy for any appellate authority to take a judgment on that particular written submission. Now, as he has coined 4 C's, I have coined 4 P's. I have 4 P's for handling any kind of show cause notice before any adjudicating authority or before appellate authority. 4 P's are, one is planning, second is preparation, third is presentation, and fourth is persuasion. So we need to, I mean, if we take care of these 4 P's, we would be very successful, I mean, getting through our case. Now let us take all these 4 P's one by one. First is planning, friends. We need to plan how to respond to a particular show cause notice or to a particular assessment order. We need to plan it properly, how to go about it, and we should, in fact, we should carefully go through the assessment order and read all the relevant sections. We should even try to know the judgments which are being delivered by the judicial ITAT. So that can give us an idea how the entire, how the ITAT is pursuing different kind of editions and how they are dealing with it. So one is planning, and second is preparation. So far as preparation will come into three parts. First, preparation we need to do while filing an appeal itself. When we are preparing an appeal, we need to read assessment order well. We need to verify all the facts which are coming out of the order. We need to make written submission, we need to pursue the written submissions which were produced during the course of assessment. So this exercise is required to be done before we file an appeal. We need to read assessment order well and make out all the points from that assessment order. And while preparing the written submissions, friend, after filing an appeal, that there will a stage where we would be preparing for the written submissions. So while preparing written submissions, we need to be very careful because written submission will only help us now. There will be no oral arguments. So we need to be very careful while preparing our written submissions. And the common mistakes which I have also observed while observing the written submissions made by certain other friends, we need to understand, friends, there is difference between filing an appeal and writing a commercial letter. Commercial correspondence is altogether different from writing in written submissions before an appeal, while preparing an appeal, because while we present our submissions before an appeal, that is sort of a petition. That is not a commercial correspondence. So before, instead of writing two commissioner appeals, we need to write, in my view, before commissioner appeals or before the appellate authority, instead of writing two. Similarly, instead of writing Shri, we need to write honorable. We need to write honorable. Instead of writing dear, we need to write respected. That would be better. Before starting written submission, we may write a few words like, may it please your good selves, or may it please your honor. We need to start our written submissions with this. Then, while writing the facts, we can write like facts of the case giving rise to the appeal. If we write like this, that would be more proper. Similarly, when we submit, when we make a written submission on a particular ground, then we need to write ki ground-wise paras and sub-paras or ground-wise submissions are as below. If we write in this fashion, if we present in that fashion, that will look more professional, and that is desirable also, friends. In the end, we need to write a prayer. We need to form a para, last para, where we need to write a prayer, what sort of relief we want, that is to be summed up in a small para, which can be titled as prayer. And friends, I am of the view, thanking is not required to be written while filing a petition, because that is required under the commercial correspondences. It is not required to write thank you. Instead of, you can write submitted by or yours faithfully. That would be enough. So these are the kind of things which we can, if we are able to incorporate in our written submission, that will give a different kind of flavor before any appellate authority, before any authority, and that will look more professional. Now, friends, we need to prepare a paper book. Those who have gone to ITT are very well aware of. But while pursuing any matter before commissioner appeals also, if we prepare a paper book, that would be very helpful, not only to the CIT appeal or any adjudicating authority, but it will be helpful to you also, because at times you would not be looking the things at different places. So if you prepare a paper book, which starts from computation of income, acknowledgement of return, then trading account, then profit loss account, balance sheet, assessment order, then the case laws which you are relying upon, then all the facts, then the grounds of appeal, facts of the case, form number 35, and all the details of the cases which you are relying upon. If we prepare a paper book like this, that would be of great help. So this is suggestion number 1. Irrespective of the fact we are not going to the ITAT, if we prepare a paper book, then it would be very helpful for both the people, for the appellate authority, for as well as for us also. And second file which we can prepare is all the correspondence, all the written submissions which are beyond that paper book, that can be kept in a separate file, and that will help us in correlating everything. On the paper book, we need to prepare index also, so it would be easy for both of us to refer the pages. While making written submission, there are few points which may look very small, but which becomes very, very important according to me. First thing, we need to highlight or make the title as bold. We need to highlight that also. We should try to do flagging. We can use these flags or sticky notes on the important papers where we need to draw the attention of the authority. These sticky notes or this can be put up. We can use these highlighters also if we are in a position to physically present, or if we are getting a chance to orally argue our case. And it will also helpful when we scan the documents, and if we highlight a particular kind of thing, that would be available in online mode also. So we need to highlight all those issues so that the attention is immediately drawn of the appellate authority. Then there is a thing called emphasis supplied. If there is certain thing which is very, very important, which you need to draw attention of any appellate authority, then after writing those particular lines, or after writing that particular para, if you write emphasis supplied, and if you highlight it, write in italics and make it bold, then certainly the attention of that appellate authority will be drawn on that particular para. So try to make use of this. Try to write a para where you feel okay, this is very important. So you can write emphasis supplied, and if you can go through certain orders of ITAT High Court, you can find a lot of professional, those who are very veterans and experienced, they use this kind of thing, and they write emphasis supplied on particular things or particular paras where they need to draw the attention of the appellate authorities. Then, friends, one very important thing, very tricky thing, when we respond to an assessment order, then we should first try to address that particular assessment order on technical grounds. Technical grounds could be, there could be a limitation period. The order has been made beyond a date, or notice was issued beyond a particular date. So that has crossed the limitation period. If that is the case, then without going into any detail or factual position or legal position, you can straight away take the case on those particular technical points, on those legal points, and you can challenge the assessment order on the limitation grounds only. Then there could be a reopening of case without, supplying the reasons or without informing the reasons of reopening. There could be a case. If that is the case, that can be challenged on the technical ground. There are a lot of cases in Indore which I have seen elsewhere also, where the penalty proceedings under section 271(1)(c), that is concealment, penalty on concealment of income, was challenged on a very, very finer ground, because the section 271(c) talks about furnishing of incorrect particulars of income or concealment of income. So while issuing a penalty order, the assessing officer fails to distinguish whether the penalty has been a penalty order has been passed based on the concealment of income or for furnishing inaccurate particulars of income. If he is not able, if he has not done that in his, while passing the order, penalty order, then this can be challenged And there are many cases in ITAT Indore branch itself, where the case has been decided, penalty has been decided on this point only, that the assessing officer has not demonstrated whether the penalty has been imposed or levied on account of concealment of income or for furnishing of incorrect particulars of income. So all this final aspect, if we take into mind, then this will help in, winning our case and getting success in our case. And friends, there could be issue wherein we more rely on a particular judgment. So my advice would be, instead of quoting many case laws, let us try to first bring in all the facts on record. It is rightly said, first fact, then law. So there should be fact before the appellate authority. Appellate authority knows what is the law, what are the case laws going around. They all are aware of, but they are not aware of what are the facts of the cases. So what we need to do is, we need to pursue facts of the cases, then supported by the case laws or by the legal pronouncements. So first fact, that law, then law. This should be kept in mind. Then friends, if the assessment order is such, which is a detailed one or which is cumbersome one, my advice would be to make a table of that particular assessment order, 1-pager or 2-pager. So there could be a column, the basis of addition of the income or the assessment order, jahan pe the addition has been made, and thereafter your response. We need to make a tabular form. These are the grounds where addition has been made, and this is our response. So this will give a clear-cut idea to the appellate authority कि what has been done in this case, कहाँ पे addition हुआ है और assessee का क्या कहना है, precise, and that can be supported by different documents, different kind of supporting, different kind of evidences. But that will give a cursory view to the appellate authority कि what has gone into this case, and he would be in a position to decide whether to allow this appeal, whether to allow this ground or not, whether to dismiss this appeal, whether to reject this ground. On that basis only, he can frame an idea. And if you have a fair case, if you have a winning case, that will eventually help you, help the appellate authority in taking in helping the decision in your favor. Now, friends, there could be cases where case law has been relied upon by the assessing officer himself. Assessment order has been framed based on the case law itself. There is a very talked about case, very important case of Balbir Singh Maini, which is going around. A lot of appeals are going on in ITAT also and before CIT appeal also, which relates to the transfer of a capital asset and the timing or when the tax incidence, when that particular income is required to be taxed. There is a Supreme Court decision in the case of Balbir Singh Maini. Now, lot of AOs have applied Balbir Singh Maini case on many cases. They have drafted the assessment orders based on the Balbir Singh Maini case only, without looking into the actual facts of the case. Now, there are many agriculturalists who have transferred their agricultural lands and they have purchased new agricultural lands far from Indore. There are many cases like this, and the assessing officers, some of the assessing officers have, applied Balbir Singh Maini case, Balbir Singh Maini's case proposition in all those assessment orders without looking into the fact. So, if you have any case like this, you need to distinguish your case from the case which has been relied upon by the assessing officer. And I would suggest you need to bring in only facts of your case and distinguish those facts from the facts of the case which has been relied upon by the assessing officer. This will help the appellate authority in deciding whether that particular case law applies on you or not. Because for instance, the Balbir Singh Maini case was largely on the joint development agreement, and this cannot be applied on any transfer of asset or any capital gain case blindly. So we need to bring in this all facts before the appellate authority. We need to distinguish our case. Then friends, there are common sort of additions in the assessment orders, like disallowing certain expenditure. Ki bhai vouchers were not produced, so I disallow 20%, I disallow 50%. This routine kind of disallowances could be there. There could be issues wherein date of transfer could be, subject to, the challenge, and there could be cases of penalty. There could be issues of TDS. So there are certain judgments, Supreme Court judgments, which we all should be aware of, and we can apply those judgments while making written submissions. For example, if there is an ad hoc disallowances under in the assessment order, then there is a case of Income Tax Appellate Tribunal and the High Court also in respect of Sanghi Brothers Indore. Then there could be a issue of date of transfer where there is a case of Ramesh Mangal of ITAT Indore. Then there could be penalty order where Reliance Petro case is highly relied upon. Then there could be an issue of TDS also, non-deduction of tax, where there is a celebrated case of Hindustan Coca-Cola beverages. So we need to, find out certain case laws which are very relevant, and where disallowance are certain common. On those cases, you can apply those case laws, and I am sure you would be getting the relief in the appeal. Now, friends, what we need to do further is we need to read the judgments of the Judicial Appellate Tribunal well. That will help in, preparing our case in a manner. We would be improving our language, we would be improving our vocabulary, and we would be knowing what sort of judgment Judicial ITAT is delivering, and that will help us in taking us case forward. Now, this is all about while filing a written submission, friends. Now comes the preparation while appearing before an authority. So there are a few points on this. When we appear before any adjudicating authority or before an appellate authority, we can take care of 4 or 5 small things. One is reaching on time. We should reach on time always. On which, if we should try, we should reach on the appointed time. That will create a first impression. If we are late, in fact, then might be we would not be able to generate the kind of confidence or impression before any adjudicating authority or appellate authority which we could have otherwise made. Then when we talk about case law, or when we present any kind of legal finding or legal earlier proceeding before any authority, what we need to do is we need to prepare a gist of that case. I have seen cases where people go before an appellate authority or before an authority and just simply present that case law before him. Now, it is very hard before an appellate authority to first understand your case, then understand the assessment order, then understand the various case laws. What we need to do is, if we are able to prepare a gist, or even if we are able to prepare a flow chart, how the things have gone in this particular case, that will certainly help the appellate authority in understanding the case law which you are relying upon. So simply going with a printout of that case law will not help, friends. If you are able to prepare to go along with a gist, that will certainly help. Then, friends, if you are able to prepare a brief summary, 1-pager summary of the entire case, that will be very, very helpful. Brief summary along with a tabular chart would be enough, friends. If you are able to prepare this when we are approaching, when we are physically appearing before any authority, if you are able to produce the gist, that will certainly help the authority understanding our case. Then, friends, rightly said by Mantri Saab, we need to, earn our creditability. We need to earn our goodwill. So always remember, whenever you appear before any statutory authority, we should not make any false claim or any false kind of thing. If on a certain issue your case is weak, it is better to admit that than arguing on a very false ground. So we need to earn our credibility also, friends. Then, friends, we need not to argue with any appellate or adjudicating authority. Not arguing doesn't mean we should not raise our points or we should not make our points, but that should be done in a proper manner. That should be made in a discussion form. Then unnecessarily arguing, unnecessary argument should be avoided. Then, if you are able to read the mind of the adjudicating authority, or if you are able to read the mind of the appellate authority during the course of proceeding, and if you feel ki you can produce certain more information, certain more evidence which can be relied upon by the appellate authority, then ask for an adjournment also, and ask for a few days time and prepare those kind of things. But that after reading the adjudicating authority's mind or appellate authority's mind, this will help. Now, friends, apart from this, there are general kind of things rightly pointed out by Mantri Saab. Too large written submissions to be avoided. We should be very precise. One important thing, if you are unable to substantiate any kind of thing, any kind of argument by way of evidence, but that thing is prevailing, but you are unable to produce an evidence, then you can even file an affidavit. Affidavit will always help. Affidavit given by an assessee will always help if you are unable to produce any evidence. So you can take the help of affidavits as the circumstances needed, as the case goes on. You can take the help of affidavit. We need to dress ourselves well. We need to be groomed properly before we appear before any authority. We need to dress ourselves well. And out of my personal experience, I have learned one thing. If you want to draw attention of any authority, of any kind of thing which in your view is of great injustice which has been done to an assessee or to a taxpayer or to any person, the best thing is to approach the particular authority in the first hours, in the morning itself. Because in the morning, what I have felt, what I experienced is that the authority can make focus on this particular thing. They can hear your case properly. They can focus on your case, because it is possible as the day passes on, they may be engaged in some other activities, some other administrative activities, or some other cases. So if you want to draw a serious kind of attention of any authority, it's best to go in the morning hours, and that will help. Then we should avoid frequent adjournments. We should not resort to the frequent adjournments. Har baar gaye, har baar ek tarikh badha li. This is not good, in fact, and this will not create a good impression. So we should avoid making a request of frequent adjournments. And Harsh was asking me how juniors should go about, appearing before an appeal or appearing before an adjudicating authority. My suggestion would be, if a junior who wish to start, if he is willing to appear before any appellate authority, he should try to approach to a senior. There are many people here at Indore who are willing to take them along, and if we go along with them, then we'll certainly learn many things which otherwise we cannot learn. In fact, there are certain things which can be learned in books, which we can learn by passing the exams, but appearing before an appellate authority or before adjudicating authority is a kind of thing which is a kind of art, and which can be improved upon by practicing it only. So if any junior member wishes to appear before any appellate authority, the best way is to request a senior, go with him for 4 or 5 hearings, and in that manner you can understand the basic modalities, basic procedures, and how to go about an appeal. So this is about a presentation, friends. And the fourth P is perusal. After doing all these things, we need to pursue the things. We need to look into where the things are moving, what additional things are required, how we can further supplement our case, substantiate our case. we need to pursue that as well. And last one thing from me, before appearing any adjudicating authority or appellate authority, if the case is of a magnitude which is an, I mean say, which is a serious kind of case, or whose magnitude is high, then the best way is, before one day, we should disengage ourselves from other activities. We should disengage ourselves from any other professional assignments. In fact, we should disengage ourselves from mobiles also for one particular day, one day, just one day before. That will help us, friends, in focusing us in preparing our case. And eventually, if we prepare our case in a proper manner, that will help the appellate or adjudicating authority. And eventually, it would be of great help to the assessee himself. So this is all from me, friends. I thank Indore branch for giving me this opportunity, and what I have shared from my experiences only. And I'm still at a learning stage. Lot many things I have to learn from you, friends, only. This is all from me, friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your very detailed and very thorough presentation for every step and how to prepare and what documents and how a document should be submitted, how a booklet should be formed for our benefit also and for the benefit of the assessing officer also, and the 4 P's should also be kept in mind. Thank you so very much. Sir, I would like to take some questions if there's any reference. Okay. So one question which is in my mind also, as a youngster, you said we should go with the seniors and learn how to present ourselves in front of appellate authorities. But sir, the main work is in the backward. Before presenting, the back channels is very important to drafting, and how to concise whole grounds and how to concise our facts, so that it also covers all the relevant parts, and it also doesn't get lengthy. So how should one should approach while making this grounds and facts, so that it covers also the whole perspective and also concise it in a respective time, in a respective fonts, so that it doesn't go very lengthy in the process.
We will hear on this from Mantri sir. But before that, I will share my two experiences. In fact, I have worked with very senior chartered accountant. What he used to do was, as soon as he used to get an assessment order, he used to prepare a first draft. As soon as he used to get a notice, on the same day or the next day, he would prepare a first draft. And on the date of hearing or on the particular date, he will take out that file, he will go through that draft again, and he will try to modify that. This is one. Two is, there is another senior in Indore itself, from whom I have learned how to present the case in 2 pages only. 2 pages written submission, 1.5 pages written submission. When I will meet personally you, Yash, I will suggest you his name, and through him I could make out how to present our case very precisely. Now, how to prepare a case ourselves while working with the seniors also, this is the probably question which you had in your mind, if I'm not wrong. So the best thing would be, as soon as you get a chance, you get an order against which you wish to file an appeal. According to me, the best way is to prepare a first draft yourself. Then go to your senior. Then see how he drafts that particular written submission against that particular order. And by going through what he has written, you would be in a position to learn how he has perceived that particular assessment order. Okay. So that is the thing which we need to do first. You rightly said, what about preparing written submission first? So that is the one way of doing it. And why I have told you to go along with him before the appellate authority, because rest of the things you will learn there. Rest of the things you will learn in the Commissioner Appellate's chamber or in the IIT courtroom, how a senior is presenting himself, how he is pursuing the case. So that only we learn when you, go along with him, because a lot of, young members might be at your age, they would be hesitating because they are not, they have not got that experience. So they might be lacking that confidence. But if they are appearing with some seniors, then gradually the confidence and everything will come up. And we'll hear more on this from Mantri sir.
Yeah, as in fact, I would add the fifth P to what Manoj P. Gupta said. Keep practicing. P, the fifth P is for practicing.
Right.
Practicing, he also highlighted the same thing. Basically, keep revising your draft yourself. So first, make a basic draft. And actually, if you remember in a grammar, when we used to read English grammar, or hamare yahan par, every exam particularly, or even in any competitive exam also, and especially in TOEFL and GRE and all those exams also, one major exercise which everybody is supposed to go through or supposed to do in that process of evaluation is Pressy writing. Pressy writing.
Right.
Or summarizing the points, right? And it's in the summarizing the point that your communication skills gets honed over a period of time. So you prepare a first draft, and as rightly suggested by Gupta Sahab, you can probably go to your senior. And if you don't have that facility of senior available, आज मैंने पहली बार ऑर्डर आया, पहली बार मैंने ऑर्डर पढ़ा, तो ऑर्डर में क्या क्या पॉइंट पर आप अपील में जाना चाहते हैं वो पॉइंट हाईलाइट कर लीजिए, उन पॉइंट को नोट कर लीजिए और उसके बेसिस पे फर्स्ट ड्राफ्ट बनाइए. उसके स्लीप ऑन इट, sleep on that draft. Next morning, read that draft with an open mind, with a complete independent mind, not with the mind of Yash. Okay, read that draft with a third person perspective. कि आप जब third person, इवन हम लोग भी जब अपीलेट ऑर्डर्स बनाते हैं या असेसमेंट ऑर्डर्स बनाते हैं और साल भर बाद में या 6 महीने बाद में या 4 महीने बाद में उनको पढ़ते हैं, तो we feel that it could have been drafted in a better manner. So practice, practice, practice. This is the slogan which I'll give you, a mantra which I would give you. You keep practicing, and by practicing itself, you will keep evolving. And उसी संदर्भ में एक मैं और बात कहना चाहूंगा जो कि गुप्ता साहब ने भी कही, और otherwise also in direct text, any law for that matter is very dynamic, is always evolving. So हमको, when your law is evolving, your law is developing, we have to keep our reading habits alive. If we don't have the habit of reading, whether the act, because this Income Tax Act is your Bible. If we are dealing with direct taxes, your Income Tax Act is the Bible. And आपने कई बार देखा होगा, some of the very senior chartered accountants, or as a DR also, even in the ITAT, when I open my argument, I would just take the members to the literal words given in the act. And sometimes when we read the act again, probably एक हमारा कहीं और एक बल्ब जलता है और हमको that act, that particular statute, that particular provision, we can understand in a better light. तो एक तो act को हमेशा पढ़ते रहना चाहिए, कहीं भी doubt हो, confusion हो, वापस act पे जाइए. Because हम लोग human beings हैं, we are prone to error, we are prone to forget things. तो वापस act पे जाइए. दूसरी चीज, keep on reading the decisions, whether it's of the ITAT, whether it's of High Court, whether it's the appellate orders by the Commissioner Appeals, or whether by the Apex Court. Not only, अभी तो मैं देख रहा था कि शायद आपने ही लीगल ड्राफ्टिंग में कुछ कोर्स करा है, सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स, तो आजकल ये नए नए तरह के कोर्सेज हमारे समय में और शायद गुप्ता जी के समय में तो ये कोर्सेज उपलब्ध नहीं थे लीगल ड्राफ्टिंग वगैरह के. But I'm happy that these courses are coming, because actually how you draft your grounds of appeal, गुप्ता जी ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से बताया how you draft your submissions, how you and ultimately देखिए आज किसी के पास में टाइम नहीं है, इसलिए आप एक दो पेज की जो समरी बनाएंगे that is very relevant, और टेबल बनाइए. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आपका जो पॉइंट है उससे रिलेटेड केस लॉ, उस केस लॉ को भले एनेक्चर में बता दीजिए, उससे रिलेटेड जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, एविडेंसेस है, उसको एनेक्चर में बता दीजिए. बट इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू बी टू द पॉइंट, टू बी कंसाइज, बिकॉज कोई किसी के पास में टाइम नहीं है. और आप मुझे जितना पनिश करेंगे by giving a bulky or voluminous document, I will punish you counterwise actually. So I'll not have the time to go through it. तो naturally मैं भी कुछ ऐसा order pass करूंगा जो कि it would not be correct. So basically I'm saying कि brevity, क्योंकि जब इन्होंने बोला grounds of appeal, गुप्ता जी ने एक बहुत अच्छा खूबसूरत लफ्ज इस्तेमाल किया कि it's the soul of the appeal process. The grounds of appeal is the soul of the appeal process. I would add that brevity is the soul. So हम soul को brevity में रखें, उसको concise रखें, उसको precise रखें, तब काम चलेगा. Grounds of appeals को भी, अपने submissions को भी, and keep reading, regular study, learning. इस तरह की जो I'm so happy ICI is doing all these wonderful webinars and seminars. It's a process of learning for all of us. तो ये जो learning का process है, इसको as a chartered accountant, as a practicing lawyer, or as a officer of the department, tax officer, we have to keep learning. We have to keep ourselves evolving. तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हम अपने को fresh रखें. मालूम पड़े कि हम जो case law की बात कर रहे हैं, that case law has been already overruled by the apex court. How embarrassed we would be. And एक और चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा actually कि जैसे faceless में तो अब even your face is not appearing unless it is a video proceedings, but otherwise, like when you enter a court or when you enter an adjudication proceeding, whether it's 263 would still be held in person, or for that matter any other matter, you have to appear before the investigation wing. आपका जो body language है वो आपके कॉन्फिडेंस को दर्शाता है. आप नर्वस है, आपने अगर होमवर्क नहीं किया है, सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि रात को भी और सुबह भी जाने से पहले एक बार गो थ्रू योर सबमिशंस. Your submission should be on your fingertips. You should be able to narrate them, talk about them, expand them as per your memory. You don't have to look to the papers actually. अगर आप papers पे look करना लगे, उसके लिए फिर markers बहुत जरूरी है कि flagging करके आपने रखा है. You can take your documents, the judges, the ITAT members through that process. तो इसके लिए body language कैसे improve होती है? गुप्ता जी ने एक बहुत important बात कही, to dress well. See, how you dress gives an impression about your sincerity, about your conviction for the cause. So when you are sincere, so you should appear sincere, and you appear sincere by dressing professionally. And when you dress professionally, that message goes to the adjudicating authority or any authority with which you represent that this man means business. तो वो बहुत जरूरी है. अपनी बॉडी लैंग्वेज पॉजिटिव रखना, योर ट्विचिंग योर फिंगर्स. या कई बार हमारे पास में जब ये इन पर्सन प्रोसीडिंग्स होती थी, तो मैं तो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स को दैट वे आई एम वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड एंड ब्लंट. आई कीप टेलिंग बिकॉज इट्स अ लर्निंग प्रोसेस. कई लोग बोलते हैं सर मैं कैन आई टेक योर पेन टू साइन द ऑर्डर शीट. आप लड़ाई करने आ गए हैं, युद्ध के मैदान में आप अपने हथियार नहीं लेके आ रहे हैं. यू आर नॉट ब्रिंगिंग योर पेन टू साइन. आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम इन गिविंग माय पेन. But that shows how serious or sincere you are towards your own cause. तो ऐसी important चीजों को, ये छोटी-छोटी चीजें हैं, but ये चीजें को overlook कर जाते हैं, उनको overlook नहीं करना चाहिए. तो हमको both the soul, which is grounds of appeal, and heart, which is your detailed submission, soul और heart को combination में रखेंगे, तो your presentation would be excellent and would mean business and would be able to persuade the appellate authority or the adjudicating authority to give a decision in your favor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is really good and honor to listen you perspective of your side and the perspective of a CA from Manoj sir, so that young CAs like us and even the practicing in the new faceless assessment, the old colleagues of us, so that they can understand how to make a draft and how to understand both the aspects of the appeal, the appellate authority from the perspective of the authority, as well as from the perspective of CA, how to handle a client, how to understand a client's facts, and how to present it before the authority so that the best could be brought for the client and best could be done for the client. Thank you, sir, for your time, and thank you everyone for joining the presentation. And it has been a very learned speech by both of the presenter, Manoj sir and Saran sir. It has been very pleasurable for Indore branch of ICI to be a part of such a good VCM. Thank you everyone for